For centuries, the British Empire stood astride the globe, a colossal power ruling over nearly a quarter of the world's land and people. From Asia to Africa to the Caribbean, British flags flew high, proclaiming a mission to civilize, even as they plundered wealth and crushed local aspirations. Yet within just a few turbulent decades of the 20th century, this mighty empire unraveled, leaving behind a humbled Britain, stripped of grandeur and grappling with its place in a world it once claimed to command. The World Wars, cracks in the foundation. World War I was the first great blow. Britain marshaled millions from its colonies, soldiers from India, Africa, Canada, Australia, to fight in Europe's trenches. The victory came at staggering cost. Hundreds of thousands dead, a shattered economy, and debts owed largely to the rising power across the Atlantic, the United States. Then came World War II, which all but finished the job. London's streets lay in ruins. The treasury was empty. Anti-colonial movements surged. Those who had fought under the Union Jack now demanded to rule themselves. India breaks free. The turning point came in 1947. After years of struggle led by figures like Gandhi, Britain could no longer cling to India, its so-called jewel in the crown. The independence of India and Pakistan wasn't just a geopolitical loss. It shattered the illusion of an unbreakable empire. If Britain could not hold India, how could it hope to keep the rest? A wave of independence. Soon the empire's dominoes toppled. In Africa, leaders like Kwame Nkrumah and Jomo Kenyatta led mass movements for independence.
This decade is the decade of African independence. Forward then to independence. To independence now. Tomorrow, the United States of Africa.
From Ghana to Kenya, from Malaysia to the Caribbean, new nations emerged, their flags rising where Union Jacks once stood. By the 1960s, the empire was little more than scattered remnants on a map. Suez, a humiliation on the world stage. Nothing illustrated Britain's fall quite like the Suez Crisis of 1956. When Egypt's Nasser nationalized the Suez Canal, Britain tried to claw it back by force, only to be slapped down by American pressure and global outrage. The message was clear: Britain could no longer act without Washington's blessing. The days of unilateral imperial adventures were over. From empire to vassal. Financially drained, Britain withdrew troops east of Suez, effectively conceding it could no longer police its far-flung interests. In 1973, it joined the European Economic Community, quietly admitting that its future lay not in global dominance, but in regional cooperation. The reckoning. The empire's collapse left deep scars. Former colonies wrestled with artificial borders and underdeveloped economies. In Britain itself, immigrants from across the old empire arrived, reshaping a society that once preached racial hierarchy.
What would you think about coloured people coming to work on the buses?
I don't like the idea very much.
Statues fell, museums faced calls to return looted treasures, and uncomfortable truths about colonial crimes came to light. Closing, the empire that couldn't last. So ended the British Empire, not in triumph, but in retreat, a cautionary tale of arrogance and overreach. Once the architect of global order, Britain today stands as a diminished power, its sovereignty tied to the very forces it once sought to dominate. There's a certain poetic justice here. A nation that spent centuries lecturing Africa, Asia, and the Caribbean on civilization now finds itself confronting its own haunted legacy. The sun has finally set on the empire, and perhaps that is exactly as history intended.